Okay, so we're now going to do a word problem, and you're going to see quite a few word problems actually on the SBAC. And I know when some of you look at word problems, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do this, because you just see a bunch of words. You're not really, it's a little bit overwhelming. It's a lot of information, but that's okay. With word problems, all you have to do is just break it down. You need to make sure that you understand the problem. Then you have to plan out how you're going to solve the problem, and then just solve it. That's all you gotta do. So for this word problem, it's let's go ahead and read it together. So Marianne wants to bake cookies for her school's bake sale. She can make 75 cookies in 5 hours. She can only bake cookies 7 hours in a day. How many days will it take for her to make 840 cookies? Okay, so already looking at it, we have a lot of information thrown at us. It's a lot of information. We have to figure out, what do we need to do with this information? Is all of this information important? Is only some of it important? Well, let's see. So we know that she can make 75 cookies in 5 hours, which is basically a rate, okay? Because for every 5 hours, she can make 75 cookies. So I'm even gonna write that as a ratio. Okay, 75 to 5. 75 cookies to 5 hours. Okay, but she can only bake cookies 7 hours in a day. Okay, she can't be baking the entire day. She can't bake 24 hours a day. She can only bake 7 hours in one day. So that is important information, because we need to know how many days it will take for her to make 840 cookies. Okay, so 7 hours in one day. And she needs to make 840 cookies, and they want to know how many days it will take to make these 840 cookies. Okay, so I know a lot of information, but let's see if we can break this down. Okay, so we already know she can make 75 cookies in 5 hours, but we need to figure out the rate at which she is baking these cookies, meaning how many cookies is she baking per hour, per 1 hour. So to figure out rate, all we need to do is just divide these numbers to figure out the rate at how many cookies she can bake in 1 hour. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick division on the side here. 5 goes into 7 one time. 7 minus 5 is 2. Bring down the 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times. So we figured out she can make 15 cookies in 1 hour. Okay, so now that we figured that out, we can figure out how many cookies she can bake in one day. So that's the whole reason why we were trying to figure out the rate, because we need to figure out, so if we know that she can bake for 7 hours in one day, we need to figure out how many cookies can she bake in that one day. So we already know how many she can make in 5 hours. So we have 75, but it's 7 hours she can bake in one day. So if we already know the 5 hours, we need 2 more hours, because 5 plus 2 equals 7 hours. So if we know she can bake 15 cookies in 1 hour, we just gotta add that twice, because 5 hours, that's our 75 cookies, and then this represents 1 hour. So this is the 5 hour cookies, 1 hour, 1 hour. So all together, this is how many cookies she can bake in 7 hours, okay? So I already know 15 plus 15, so 75 plus 15 is 90, right? Yes, 90 plus 15, and that's going to equal 105. So we now know she can bake 105 cookies in 7 hours. Okay. So that's the first part of our word problem done. But they're asking us, how many days will it take for her to make 840 cookies? So they want to make 840 cookies, and we know she can make 165 cookies in 7 hours, which is the amount of time she can bake in one day. So if that's the amount of time she can bake in one day, and they want to know how many days it will take her to make 840 cookies, we just have to divide 105 cookies or 840 cookies by 105, because if this is the amount she's trying to get, the amount of cookies that she's trying to bake, and we know she can bake 105 cookies in one day. So basically I'll put 105 cookies in 7 hours / 1 day, because we know that that's how many hours she can bake in one day. So all we have to do is divide these two numbers, because this is how much she can make in one day and this is how many she needs to make, to figure out how many days it will take for her to bake these cookies. So 105 divided by 840 equals 8. Okay, and I just did that in my head, but also this is one of those problems that when you have your SBAC, you're probably going to see a calculator there. And if you see that there's a calculator option, feel free to use it when you're doing the SBAC, because it's there to help you, so you don't have to do something like this and you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the computation correctly, and that's okay. That's why they provide the calculator for you. So 105 goes into 840 8 times. So now we know that it's going to take her 8 days to bake 840 cookies. Okay. All right, so if you're still trying to figure out how in the world did I get to 8 days by doing all of this, rewind this video and go through it step by step again, okay? Because there's a couple of steps we had to take in order to get to this answer, okay? And don't get lazy about it. I know it's a lot of steps, and I know there's a lot that's going on when you're looking at with this word problem, but just break it down, go through it step by step, and you'll get to the correct answer. Okay, again, if you don't understand how I got to this answer, rewind it, look through how I got the rate, how I found the rate per hour, how I found out how many cookies she can make in 7 hours, and then figure out and then look through the explanation of why we're dividing it by 840. And if you're still not sure, go ahead and raise your hand and ask me whatever questions you may have.